Good afternoon and welcome to the 2022 Casella Sustainability Leadership Awards program. My name's Paul Ligon and it's my pleasure to welcome you here today along with our 7 award winners, all of whom are demonstrating leadership in the sustainable material management space. We hope you enjoy these leaders' stories and find them as inspirational as we do. And now, a word from our chairman and CEO, John Casella.
Thank you for joining us and welcome to Casella's 2022 Sustainability Leadership Awards. A huge congratulations to all of this year's outstanding award recipients who each in their own regards represents leadership in reducing waste and advancing sustainable materials management. Lastly, thank you to all of our employees, our customers, and the communities we serve that have prioritized sustainability today, tomorrow, and well into the future.
Welcome to the second annual Casella Sustainability Leadership Awards. I'm Joe Fusco.
And I'm Liza Casella, and we are absolutely thrilled to serve as this afternoon's event co-hosts as we take you on a celebratory journey rooted in innovation and collaboration.
We're here today because we believe sustainability plays a critical part in the future wellness of our society and our ability to protect the environment and the planet. Now, on to the real stars of this afternoon's event.
Our first 2022 Sustainability Leadership Award goes to Cabot Agri-Mark. Cabot is a longtime Casella customer with locations in Vermont, Massachusetts, and New York. Let's hear a little bit more from the team at Cabot.
We are a dairy farmer-owned cooperative here in the Northeast, and Agri-Mark is the name of our cooperative, but most people know us by our brand name, which is Cabot. And we make a broad line of dairy products, including the world's best cheddar. We have 4 manufacturing facilities in New York, Western Massachusetts, and a couple in Vermont. And so part of what we deal with are sustainability issues related to how we run our facilities. At the same time, we interact with our dairy farm families to work on sustainability issues down on the farm.
Cabot's been here a long time because of their great partnerships and how they've actually treated small farms in Vermont and working with them, and then understanding the partners that they have and working with those partners.
The scope of what we handle from Cabot is pretty broad. Up here at the Vermont facilities, there's a lot of different hard to recycle plastics. There's compost. At the West Springfield facility in Massachusetts, we handle large volumes of bulk liquid. We do a lot of depack work for them, so it's a huge variety of materials that they have coming out that we handle.
So they have many different streams that are entering their facilities, whether it's material coming inbound to actually make the final product that they're selling to consumers, or the packaging from the consumers that might have labels that have gone bad or other things like that.
In the packaging department is where we have both the cardboard and the plastic compactors, and then not far from there is the cheese compost dumpster outside as well.
We have to find solutions for those, whether it be composting them, sending them to anaerobic digestion, or even animal feed.
We have, cheese in powder, on the floors or in the drains and stuff, and it gets picked up, and instead of going in a garbage, we send it into a big roll-off dumpster out back. The cheese compost and whey powder compost dumpster goes to a local farm, and it's reused for fertilizer.
We really recognized as a consumer-facing product, and hearing our customers and our consumers express more interest in what we were doing in terms of a sustainability program, it was my good fortune to be given the opportunity to help shape that program for our organization. And we'd like to get to a zero waste to landfill state. We're not there yet. But that's the longer term goal, and we see a partner like Casella as critical in achieving that.
There's a lot of connecting the dots, right? Customer has this need, this commodity, they may have certain logistical restrictions, and then figuring out how to connect the dots to the best outlet for their material.
I think just the collaboration of everybody involved with the programs that we have here. I think there is a huge willingness from everybody.
They're pushing us to be our best, and that's when we have partners like that push us to do our best, we can come up with innovative solutions.
I think, in order to ensure that, we have an earth to keep living on, we need to figure out how to close the loop and keep material being repurposed and reused.
In the future, I see nothing but more opportunities to collaborate. There will always be resource streams that pose challenges, and that's where creative, innovative thinking is going to be even more important as we get closer and closer to our recycling goals, for example. It becomes harder and harder to get those last few percentages accomplished. And that's where it's going to take real community approaches to trying to hit those toughest ones. And I think there's every reason to be optimistic that we'll continue to make impressive progress on that front. It gives me great pleasure on behalf of the dairy farm family owners and the employees of Agri-Mark Cabot Creamery Cooperative to accept the 2022 Sustainability Leadership Award presented by Casella. Thank you to all involved. Go team!
Congratulations, Cabot Agri-Mark. What impressive work you're doing, not only from a manufacturing perspective, but taking it all the way down to your farm partners to help them in their sustainability journey. Now, our second Sustainability Leadership Award. Joe, the envelope?
Here you go.
Goes to Global Foundries. Operating worldwide, Global Foundries has leveraged comprehensive solutions that Casella provides to achieve an impressive 84% recycling in 2021. This is up 25% from 2018. Where do you even begin? Wow. Let's hear a little bit more from the team at Global Foundries.
Global Foundries is a microelectronics plant. We manufacture computer chips that go in a variety of products, whether it be automobiles, airplanes, telephones, computers, any of these devices we electronically use today. We have a lot of components that go into the chip manufacturing process. As a result of that, there's various residues that come out of that manufacturing line. Some of those things are targets that are kind of platinum or titanium plates that we actually recycle through Casella, which is actually a very beneficial recovery process for us.
The integrated waste approach has offered us a unique opportunity for waste diversion from landfill. Being on site and being to engage with our waste streams directly has maximized our recycling opportunities and reduced cost.
Through their recycling efforts and their improvement in recycling, they've consistently seen commodity rebates on the back end increase. So in 2021, they recycled 84% of their material, but they also got credited for over $120,000 in material recovery.
We have a lot of opportunities. It's basically working with Josh or Elizabeth Smith on different products that we have that we don't have a current recycling stream for. We'd give them a sample and they'd go off into the Casella network and say, can you find a home for this? Is there something that we can do to recycle this product?
I have great respect for the environment and very passionate about, making sure that we're, holding our resources and maximizing resources. So working with a big corporation, big company like Global Foundries, who has similar goals, right? They're very complex in their production schedule, but they have resources and they drive a lot of efforts to recycle, and so that's very impressive for a big organization to really take accountability and have an interest in the local community.
My belief is that we have a duty or an obligation to do what we can for the environment. That carries over into our business relationship.
Our regulatory team and our environmental team went forth to try and have our industrial waste sludge delisted, making it non-hazardous. And that was a huge plus. That jumped us from 25 to over 80%, where Casella can actually use that material to line their landfill. So that was a big, big win.
prior to our program really taking place in 2018, a lot of these streams, didn't have end sites for them, or they ended up in the landfill. So that was a part of our program, certainly identifying and making relationships with vendors that could process this material and also rebate the customer at Global Foundries for their, hard to recycle plastics and other streams.
I believe that it is our personal responsibility and our responsibility as a company to do what we can for future generations.
We have one planet. We have to take care of it. Landfills are expensive, and they're certainly, confined capacity. And I think it just makes common sense. If you can recycle something or repurpose something, why start from scratch and build it again? Use what's already existing and just maximize its potential.
From my standpoint, it was an easy selection. Global Foundries has been a consistent and reliable partner of Casella. They're constantly, looking to improve not only their recycling efforts, but also just improve their carbon footprint with sustainability initiatives like baling their HDPE drums. They were, previously sending light loads of HD, barrels and drums, but through our program of baling that material, we were able to maximize space on, trailers and make sure that we were shipping heavy loads.
Our impact to the environment needs to be as small as possible. We do have a goal of zero waste to landfill, and we're getting closer and closer with Casella's help.
On behalf of Fab 9 and the Global Foundries team, we are honored to receive the Casella Sustainability Leadership Award. We have developed a great partnership with Casella and have developed a fully integrated recycling program. This includes an all-in-one or zero-sort recycling across the Fab 9 campus. We recycle compost from our cafeteria, baled cardboard and plastics, and precious metals. As Vermont's largest private manufacturer, Global Foundries is not only a major contributor to the regional and state economy, but we are also a leader in environmental responsible operations. This Sustainability Leadership Award is a total team recognition. I want to thank the entire Fab 9 team for participating in our waste management program, which led to this Sustainability Award.
Wowla is another truly impressive customer. What's most impressive is the way they leverage teamwork to drive sustainability and the commitment to sustainability into every part of their business. Congratulations, Global Foundries. Now, our third Sustainability Leadership Award goes to, may I have the envelope please? The Middlebury Natural Food Co-op. The Middlebury Natural Food Co-op is in, unsurprisingly, Middlebury, Vermont, and is the perfect example of a small customer making an important impact. The co-op has successfully leveraged our recycling, organics, and solutions services to achieve an impressive 74% recycling rate and continues to prioritize sustainable practices throughout their day-to-day operations. Let's take a closer look at the Middlebury Natural Food Co-op.
The most important thing is that being a cooperative, we are actually owned by the community. So the people who live and shop here actually are the owners. And the co-op is here to meet their needs, and they're passionate about doing the right thing, whether it's environmentally or socially, or reducing waste is a pretty high priority, both for the member owners, but also for the staff that work here. And so we do an awful lot in our work that's here to try to reduce our environmental impact. And, a big thing that we focus on is local food. So we have about 400 producers in Vermont that supply directly to us, and it's about a third of our sales are Vermont-made products.
With Middlebury Food Co-op, we have 4 different streams of collection, which we start with your trash dumpster, along with your traditional zero-sort dumpster, and then we have food compost container collection, along with the stretch wrap collection and general cardboard collection in a baler.
Reduce, reuse, recycle as much as possible. And so in reducing, I think people are motivated to try to not have so much extra packaging and stuff that ends up in the landfill. So a very high percentage of our customers, bring their own grocery bags. So we don't use very many of those brown grocery bags at the checkout. But beyond that, a lot of customers bring their own containers to fill up, whether they're in the produce department, their own produce bags, or filling up things at the bulk department where they can, fill up with nuts, and they bring all their own containers and spices and herbs and things like that. They're filling their own containers. And so we do a lot of that. And so the goal there is obviously to reduce any of that excess packaging that might end up in the waste stream.
I find the best relationships are the customers that want to be constantly involved with where we're at with coming up with ideas. And I found that in my relationship with Eric, as he was very much at the forefront of always making sure that we're staying on top of the discussion that we've had, whether it be stretch wrap, whether it be coming up with a bigger baler to better suit their needs, or whether it be just coming up with different style containers. And the partnership, even with the smaller locations, is imperative to make sure that we're always trying to find the next best thing that we can help them get to their goals.
We're pretty much focused on okay, we don't want food waste to go into the landfill if possible. So ideally, the first choice is food goes to people, to feed people first. And so we have a strong relationship with our local food shelves, and most of our food that's edible will end up there. And then the second choice would be food that feeds animals. So anything that people can't eat, and there's a lot of food scraps coming out of the kitchen, the produce department, those will end up in special bins where people can come and farmers pick up bags of scraps, and they're feeding pigs and chickens and things like that. Some of that is full cycle. Some of those chickens are actually egg producers that then bring eggs to the co-op, so that's kind of cool.
So, and the food co-op takes it to the next level where they actually can have bins set up for the farmers to come in. And since we've started taking a closer look at the different types of products that we're taking in, it has allowed them now to get to just about 74% diversion from the landfill. And to be able to get to that point has taken a lot of time and a lot of effort to be able to make sure that we've got full attention to all the different products and containers that are being used, along with making sure that we got a next plan in place to be able to get to the end result of zero waste someday.
But there are things that people can do. Everybody can do a little bit. And whether it's okay, I'm not going to use plastic straws anymore. I'm going to buy a reusable straw and, just wash it in the dishwasher regularly, or reusable containers or coffee cups or things like that. Trying to move away from those single-use things. Multiply that times all the people on the planet that are doing all the shopping. It's oh, that could have a really big impact. And so I think that's what our member owners are wishing for, is that we can set an example and do a really good job.
The legacy of Casella really has started back in 75 with being able to collect the material, but also being able to take care of your customer from day one, and having that ability to take care of them with solutions that make sense to both of us makes the day-to-day job and the partnership that much stronger.
It was a big surprise to receive this award, and a big honor for the Middlebury Natural Foods Co-op. We have a big priority in trying to reduce waste. It's been a really amazing partnership and relationship with them. All the work that we do, we couldn't do it really without them.
Congratulations, Middlebury Natural Foods. Our next Sustainability Leadership Award goes to the Rhode Island Resource Recovery Corporation. RIRRC operates one of the largest, most successful leaf and yard trimmings compost facilities in the Northeast. Casella has collaborated with RIRRC to yield a top quality Class A product that is safe for all uses, including certified organic growing.
Well, Resource Recovery's mission is to provide safe, environmentally compliant, clean, and affordable solid waste and recycling services to the Rhode Island community. When we put our trash on the curb and a sanitation worker collects it, it just kind of disappears, right? It goes away, but away is a real place, and that's where it's coming. It's coming to Resource Recovery. So we have 5 operations at our facility. We have our central landfill, we have our materials recycling facility, our leaf and yard waste composting operation, our small vehicle area, and our eco depot for household hazardous waste. And so we provide those services to the Rhode Island community.
Daily, we could see anything from, regular household trash all the way to some special waste that we may have to bury in the landfill. As far as organics go, we take all the yard waste, leaf, green waste, so to speak, and we'll process that and we turn it into compost.
Grass clippings, in the fall, the abundance of leaves that you have, twigs, branches, things like that, you can bring them here and you can have them diverted from going to the landfill and then create compost, which is such a wonderful material that offers so many environmental benefits.
I believe this year we sold 70,000 processed yards of compost.
The demand increase for compost has gotten more and more every year as people become more educated about soil life and soil activity within what they grow, which I think is great. Soil degradation is a big problem we're going to be facing in the next 10, 20, 30 years. It causes soil erosion, water loss.
Behind me here is our green waste inbound receiving area. This is where we process about 40 to 50,000 tons of green waste that we receive here from our community and some commercial haulers. Majority of stuff that we do accept here would just be the typical yard waste. Any bushes you may have trimmed, trees fell in your yard, any grass clippings, things of that nature, organic green waste. We'll then truck it, put it into rows, and from the rows it'll sit there, it cooks, goes through its anaerobic stages. Then from there we have to keep our rows clean, or our litter control. We are in a landfill environment, so that is a challenge to keep our wind-blown litter out of those piles. We'll turn it, we'll try to keep the moisture in there, and as that product breaks down, it turns into that beautiful soil, and it is tested and regulated. Then we'll take that, we'll stockpile it. Then we'll run it through a screener, sort all the bad stuff out, and that's the product that we put out for sale and through Casella.
We screen it down to a half-inch trommel screen, which gives you a really nice, fine, even product. So say you're going to grow spinach or you're going to grow a lettuce. You want to know day in and day out that the material you're getting in is going to be constant, so that you know what your fertilizer requirements are going to be. Years ago, this stuff would have just been put in the landfill and wasted, and it would have filled up the space, and they would have to go make another one or ship it somewhere else.
We anticipate that the landfill is going to reach capacity in 2040. That may seem far away, but it's really not, right? Time goes by pretty quick. And the landfill is an extremely valuable resource to Rhode Islanders.
Definitely going to be pressure on the state's end for us to make sure that this facility is run in the most efficient way. But like you said, with the public also, it's a team effort. It has to be collaborated, because if they dirty up the recycling and it ends up here, it has to be rejected from this building, and then it ends up in our landfill anyway.
It can feel complex at times, right? There are thousands of items that exist, and we're just trying to help people simplify that a bit and figure out what they can actually do with their stuff and properly dispose of that waste.
What the future looks like is, what it should look like is everybody doing a little bit more, educating themselves just to keep that life of the landfill here, because landfills aren't really, they're not a bad thing, but they're not a good thing either.
Rhode Island Resource Recovery was nominated for the Sustainability Award because of their actions that they take day in and day out. Yes, the compost is the avenue that I deal directly with, and the fact that 73,000 yards went out last year. That's not going into the landfill. That's going to a beneficial use.
On behalf of the Rhode Island Resource Recovery Corporation, please know that we are honored and very thankful to Casella, not only for this formal recognition, but also for being such a fabulous business partner. Without your efforts in bringing our compost to market, this program would not nearly be the success that it is today, so thank you. In addition, I would also like to recognize Mr. Jason Peasy and our field staff. Jason is Resource Recovery Operations Manager, and it is he and his team of dedicated staff that deserve the credit here. Receiving and processing nearly 40,000 tons of leaf and yard waste each year, turning it into this fine Class A certified organic product is no small feat. And it is guys like Jason and his team who actually make this happen. So guys, this one's for you. Thank you.
Congratulations, Rhode Island Resource Recovery Corporation. Your passion is a wonderful example for municipal governments throughout the United States. And now it's time for our next Sustainability Leadership Award. May I have the envelope, please? And the award goes to St. Paul's School in Concord, New Hampshire. A private boarding school, St. Paul's School has achieved an impressive recycling rate using the resource solutions we provide. Let's learn a little more about what they're doing at St. Paul's.
St. Paul's is an independent boarding school. We're one of only two 100% residential boarding schools. So we serve a 9th through 12th grade population, so residential high school. We're located on roughly 2,000 acres of semi-rural land outside of Concord, New Hampshire. It was founded as an Episcopal school, so we have a connection with the Episcopal Church. Those involved in the founding really saw that nature can prove to be an incredibly powerful educator, not just in the hard sciences, but in those affections of our soul, the things that we care for most deeply.
It's really rewarding to be thinking about the next generation that's going to school here. Thinking about when they grow up and they go to throw an apple in the garbage somewhere, it will feel wrong. They will look for ways to recycle that food or to find a place to put it in to compost. And I just think it'll have a tremendous impact on the future generations to come, and I feel so honored that we get to be a part of that.
You know, at the end of the day, they are high schoolers. They are still learning how to be change agents. And it would be naive to think that all of the solutions come from the students. But I'm a firm believer that most of the energy, motivation, and passion does.
And so they're looking at absolutely every department, every material that a student or faculty brings to the campus, any vendors that come to campus, identify all of those streams and look for ways to manage them.
But I think a lot of people don't know that there is an issue with landfill capacity, and there is a better way to keep items in the cycle.
Where's there low-hanging fruit that can have a big impact? And food waste is one for all of us. So we're sitting in a state where there is no food waste legislation today, no ban, but we're surrounded by other states that have had food waste bans in place for years. And it's had a tremendous impact on the amount of material that large generators like these campuses have been able to now divert.
I nominated St. Paul's School for this Sustainability Leadership Award because they're doing great things with their grind-to-energy system at their dining hall, capturing a lot of food waste. This was really the first high school in New Hampshire to implement this technology.
Institutions that have food service operations to think about the sustainability of their food, the opportunity just in this mundane activity that we do every day, 3 times a day, is absolutely immense. And every time we take a step to reducing the material waste, we are working as agents to minimize those future harms.
And it's just an incredible piece of equipment that helps them have this really successful, robust food waste diversion program.
Engaging students in the environment, engaging ourselves in the environment is a way to cultivate a spiritual sensibility in our lives, and that spiritual sensibility can deeply inform the ethics that we live by, the sort of habits that we cultivate to be people of purpose and intention in support of a common good. On behalf of St. Paul's School and the team that has worked incredibly hard to drive sustainability on our campus, the folks in operations, in facilities, in our partners at Flick, in dining services, I am thrilled as the environmental steward to accept this sustainability award. It's a testament to all of the hard work of our students and our adults on this campus to work for a more sustainable and healthy future.
What an inspiration our first 5 winners have been, each leading the way. Our next Sustainability Leadership Award goes to the envelope. The town of Stratham, New Hampshire. Located in southeastern New Hampshire, the town currently collects nearly 1,000 tons per year of recyclable materials with an estimated recycling rate of 30%, one of the best
Let's see how they did it.
In Stratham, we take a long view of the effect of our operations and services on our community. That requires leadership and initiative when it comes to addressing our long-term challenges and constant improvement towards managing our resources and being stewards of our earth. We want to encourage an environment where people are thinking about what they consume and the entire life of those materials.
A big driver is nationwide we're facing capacity issues with landfilling. Clearly we can all do better and reduce the amount of landfilling and improve upon our recycling initiatives, and those are really the key focuses for our community here in Stratham. We went from a manual collection, meaning that there was a driver on the front of the truck and then actual labor force, boots on the ground, on the rear of the truck that were jumping on and off of the truck, grabbing the bagged materials, throwing it into the truck and compacting. Now there's one individual driver operating a truck that is now equipped with an automated arm that grabs a standardized cart. We have been able to reduce operational costs. We have been able to provide a more consistent service to the public, and ultimately we've seen our tonnages drop, that the town of Stratham is now landfilling less and recycling more.
In Stratham, we have high expectations for responsiveness, professionalism, and reliability. We were able to be successful in securing a vendor who met all of those expectations.
I've had numerous people, and probably as recently as a month ago, stop me and just thank me for us having initiated the process of curbside pickup.
We are always, as a town, looking for ways to continuously improve. We see in Casella a partner who has previously brought us opportunities to improve this service. We'd welcome further collaboration with Casella on all of that.
Stratham has a little bit different mindset. They want to continue to improve. They want to continue to develop their program. They want to work with their partner, in which this case we're fortunate for it to be us, Casella, and for us to be able to advise them on what are some of our recommendations, and we work collaboratively to bring the program, like I said, to where it is today and where we hope to bring the program moving forward. I nominated the town of Stratham for the Sustainability Leadership Award because everything that they've done over the last 2 years, in my mind, is pretty remarkable. You know, I guess that as a whole, they looked at every single detail. For me, when I look at the town of Stratham, you know, this is a community that our company has had a relationship for many years. The community has put a significant amount of effort into their solid waste program, their sustainability program. It's important to recognize them for those efforts. They've worked incredibly hard. I can tell you that since the transition of this town, a lot of the lessons learned have been noticed by other communities throughout New Hampshire. And they have set the example. And there are several other communities that are striving to mimic what Stratham has done. The town brought a lot of great ideas to the table that we were able to utilize, and we're now utilizing those good ideas in other communities. And they're extremely effective, and they're creating positive impacts.
Without the support of Casella, we would not have obtained the recent reductions in volumes.
On behalf of the Town of Stratham Select Board, the town staff, and residents, I'd like to thank the Casella organization for their support and recognition of Stratham with this Sustainability Award. We are grateful for the partnership, and when I first learned about this recognition, I immediately thought of our town staff and the people who worked very hard to ensure this transition to a new system went well, including our Public Works Director, our Waste Management Advisory Committee, and all the town staff who helped ensure proactive communications and outreach to our community, to whom we are grateful for their patience and cooperation throughout. Thank you to all.
Congratulations to the town of Stratham, New Hampshire. By leveraging various efficiencies and technologies, they are punching above their weight and are certainly among the most sophisticated of towns working to improve their recycling rate. And now, last but certainly not least, our next and final 2022 Sustainability Leadership Award goes to...
Drum roll, please.
Tufts University. Tufts has been a Casella customer for just over a year and a half. And in this brief amount of time, we have supported many of their existing programs, including specialty recycling for film, foam, and textiles, move out and donation days, and a special program where 15 plus students support sustainability efforts directly in their residence halls. Let's hear more about what they're doing down at Tufts.
We do have a limited number of resources on this planet, so advocating for sustainability and sustainable initiatives is not only about protecting the planet, but it's also protecting the people who live here. We're working into that behavior change aspect where awareness and education is only the first part. What Tufts is trying to do is move then beyond that educational piece and into action. Right? Because without action, we won't actually be able to change.
What we've been working on is really trying to reduce the amount of waste generation and build stronger programs so that we have better control over what is happening. On a college campus, you have so many inputs into the waste system that, unlike a manufacturing facility where you have control over the inputs, it's so much harder to understand that on a college campus. We're really helping support Tufts in understanding what's coming into their facility, how is it being moved across their facility, and what's happening at the end of it.
What's been really unique about Casella is their ability to kind of bring all those different recycling streams into one place, because what Tufts has really worked on doing is all these things that are difficult to recycle. Casella offers opportunities to recycle those items by partnering with other third-party vendors. So we're able to basically create this whole network in one space to, again, make it easier to recycle these typically hard to recycle items.
For Tufts, they have a 7% approximately contamination rate in their front load recycling streams. A lot of colleges and universities are somewhere between 15 and 25%. So we're seeing it be much lower than that. With having a lower contamination rate, we're able to see where there are problems because we know, okay, this building isn't doing quite as well.
Beyond the three main waste streams, recycling, landfill, and compost, Tufts University also provides plastic film recycling, small electronics recycling, an ink and toner recycling and reuse program, as well as a styrofoam recycling program with Casella, and a lab recycling program through a local company called Green Labs. And what that is it basically takes non-hazardous lab materials that are made out of number 5 plastic that often get thrown out of the conventional recycling because they're deemed hazardous waste. We continue to develop these technologies that address single-use waste and proper recycling. And proper recycling is a really important aspect of sustainability, but so is waste reduction. And that's the other aspect of my job where, what are ways on campus that we can actually reduce the amount of recycling and single-use items that we create.
Luckily with Tufts, we have somebody who's specifically working on the waste and recycling challenges on campus. So we're very aligned in terms of being able to get together and work on projects and understand how we can support Tufts in reaching what their goals and where they're trying to get to.
Sustainability is one of Tufts University's strategic priorities, so it's really exciting to get to work in a space where, we get to bring together everyone in the university and the surrounding community to make positive change.
People are looking at the circularity of the products that they're inventing and how they're actually going to move through the entire system. And I think that that's really the direction we need to head, is how can we look at this as not just getting it in the blue bin, but how are we supporting an entire system that's going to continue to reuse these resources for lifetimes and lifetimes to come.
It really is practicing what you preach. Often institutional change has to come before behavior change. So when Tufts as an institution makes it easier and more accessible to recycle, to reduce your waste, that's when we're actually able to create and implement change.
I nominated Tufts because I think that what they're doing is really unique. They have a very low contamination rate, which is very unheard of for colleges and universities. And then they also have their Eco-Reps program, and their Eco-Reps is, I believe it's like 20 to 30 students that are helping support these programs. So during move in and move out, they help monitor the trash and recycling and help answer questions. They run a composting program in the residence halls, and I've also helped do trainings with them for recycling and things like that. So they're really getting all that knowledge and become the change makers on campus.
We want to thank Casella for their recognition and support of the sustainability work we do here at Tufts University. Sustainability is a key strategic priority at Tufts, and one of our goals is to maintain a 3% annual waste reduction rate, which is only possible through the collaboration with many departments and community members. We rely on participation from students, staff, and faculty across the university to make our recycling, composting, and waste reduction efforts possible. I want to especially thank the dedication of my facilities colleagues who are involved with these efforts every day, and who join me after campus events to help me sort through recycling contamination. Together, we will continue to innovate our waste streams to create a healthier campus for everyone.
Congratulations, Tufts. We are proud to be a partner of yours across all aspects of what you do on campus, and in particular, the impressive work and contribution that you have made to reduce contamination within your recycling system, something that's extremely difficult to do for any customer, but in particular, extremely hard for college campuses. Well done.
Absolutely.
As we close out this afternoon's event, let's hear some regards from our very own Abby Webb, Director of Sustainability at Casella.
Congratulations to all the winners here today. It's been really inspiring to hear your stories. It's clear that you're all doing tremendous work to really advance sustainability within your organizations. And we're really just proud and honored to play a role in that sustainability journey along with you. I can say that at Casella, we're on a sustainability journey too. We are working to reduce our emissions, to protect the environment, to build our people, to serve our communities. So I would encourage everybody to check out our sustainability report. We will be issuing an update in the coming months around the summertime. So definitely check that out. It'll have updates on all of our goals and our progress. Thanks again to all of the individuals and their teams who are involved in making these projects happen. You really are advancing the state of sustainability for our communities. And for that, we thank you. I know it takes a tremendous amount of hard work and dedication. So we really appreciate your sustainability leadership and look forward to seeing what you all come up with for next time.
Joe and I had the privilege to be your co-hosts this afternoon at another incredible event. Thank you, and have a great afternoon.